Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Today, I want to talk to you about how to make yogurt cheese. And yogurt cheese and whey this is really fun to make. And I have a video for this and a recipe on how to do this on my website, and I'll link it. And if you're on YouTube, I'll try to put the video in here too. So when you make yogurt cheese and you separate out the whey, you get two cultured treasures. One of the most delightful and simple things you can do for making your homemade yogurt is to make yogurt cheese. And I make it all the time. It's creamy, it's tangy, it's probiotic-rich, and it is oh so versatile, and I use it every day in something. And as a bonus, you get this golden lay that drains off the whey, which is very nutrient dense. And you can use that in any recipe that calls for water. You can drink it, you can add a little bit of sparkling water to it and make it a drink. And it's really, really refreshing. So what exactly is yogurt cheese? Yogurt cheese is made by straining the liquid whey from the yogurt until it becomes thick, like cream cheese or cheese. And the longer you strain it, the thicker it gets. You can use it as a savory spread, a base for dips, or even a sweet dessert topping. And you won't believe how good it makes you feel. You'll still get all the probiotics from your yogurt, just in a concentrated form. And you don't want to toss the whey. The liquid that strains off the yogurt is whey, and is loaded with probiotics, has tons of minerals, calcium, potassium, and even proteins that support muscle repair and immune functions. It's clear, it's yellowish, and it's really packed with goodness. And here are some ways to use the whey. So you can add it to smoothies, or you can make fermented drinks with it by adding some lemon to it, sparkling water. If you want extra probiotics, you can add a little bit of kefir soda to it. It makes it delicious. You can use it as a liquid in bread, pancakes, or muffins. And if it calls for water, use it. It's great. You can add it to soups and stews for a nutritional boost. You can soak your grains and beans in them before cooking, like 1/4 of a cup or a few tablespoons to soak your grains and beans in. I always soak them. I make almond milk once a week, so I always soak my almonds, and I can add a little whey to it to give it a little bit of extra boost. You can give it to your garden because the microbes love it too. Kind of water it down a little bit and spread it around. And why this matters, making yogurt cheese and whey is like unlocking two treasures from one cultured food. And you get so many gut healing golden healing liquid from the yogurt, from the whey, that it can nourish your gut, support your immune system, and even help detoxify your body very naturally too. So yogurt cheese is easy to digest because the beneficial microbes in the yogurt have already pre-digested the lactose and proteins for you. So there's hardly any lactose in there. It's gentle and healing and full of life cultures that work synergistically with your body to bring balance and wellness. So here's some nutritional information about it. Yogurt cheese is a simple transformation with big benefits. When you make yogurt cheese, something really beautiful happens. As you strain the yogurt, the whey separates, takes on with it most of the milk's natural sugars, lactose, leaving behind a rich, creamy cheese that's packed with a lot of protein and low in carbohydrates. And that's one of my favorite ways to enjoy it, is to make the cheese. So the role of whey. So where do the carbs go? Fermentation is a really cool thing. As yogurt ferments, beneficial bacteria feast on the lactose, which is the milk sugar in milk, turning it into tangy lactic acid. Then you strain the yogurt and you're removing even more of those milk sugars into the whey. So here is a look at how the carbohydrate content shift. So when you're making just regular yogurt, there are different processes that it goes through. So, for instance, in unfermented milk, just regular milk, in about a cup, you've probably got 12 grams of carbohydrates, which is mostly lactose, the milk sugars in milk. Once it's fully fermented, those carbohydrates drop to 2 to 6 grams, depending on how long you've fermented it. So the bacteria converts much of the lactose to lactic acid. And that does not count as a carbohydrate, lactic acid. So then when you strain the yogurt and make yogurt cheese, the carbohydrate count drops to 1 to 3 grams. So there's even less lactose and it's thicker and higher in protein. Fermentation changes everything. It all shifts when we bring fermentation to the picture. As yogurt ferments, the bacteria feast on the milk sugars, converting the lactic acid, and it makes the milk or the yogurt more digestible. So lactic acid is a powerful ally. It gives your yogurt that tangy flavor. It also acts as a natural preservative and keeps out harmful bacteria, which makes your yogurt last quite a long time in the fridge. And although lactic acid has some of the same building blocks as carbohydrates, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, it's not technically a carbohydrate, and it does not spike your blood sugar. That's why I love yogurt cheese. It's rich, creamy, full of probiotics, and deeply nourishing. You'll get the best of the milk when the sugar is mostly gone. And it's simple, beautiful food, and your body knows exactly what to do with it. So yogurt cheese per cup. Let me tell you this. So if you made yogurt cheese out of your yogurt, let's say you used whole cow's milk, it's 220 calories, and the fat would be 10 grams, and the protein would be 22, and the carbs would be about 2 to 4, mostly lactic acid. If you use 2% milk, the calories for yogurt cheese would be 180, 6 grams of fat, 23 grams of protein, 2 to 4 lactic acid carbohydrates. And skim milk, the calories would be 120, the fat would be 0.5, and the protein would be 25. So that's the highest. The protein would be the highest in the skim milk. And 2 to 4 carbohydrates or lactic acid. And that is per cup. So I have a whole video on how to make yogurt cheese and how to make this yogurt. And I have recipes with pictures. And there's 2 ways to make yogurt cheese. You can make it with, I have this kefir strainer that's very, very cool. And you just put it in there and it just strains it overnight in your fridge. Or if you want to make bigger batches, what I recommend, and I show you step-by-step pictures for this too, and I have a video where you put the yogurt into a big strainer that has lined with a coffee filter, like one of the big coffee filters. Pour the yogurt in there and cover it with some plastic wrap or something. Let it sit in your fridge overnight and all the whey will drip out if you're making bigger batches and you want a bunch of yogurt cheese. Both ways are super easy. And you want a fine mesh strainer, and I link all of those things that I use in there so you can see what I use and how I do it. And it makes delicious, creamy, really, really creamy yogurt cheese. And the longer you strain it, the thicker the cheese will get. And if you get one of the kefir strainers that I sell, it has this little gadget that you can put on. It's got a little spring that has a little thing that pushes down the yogurt, and you can put it in there, and it will make a much firmer yogurt cheese with that. And it works really, really easy. And you can just stick it on top of the yogurt. I use it with kefir all the time. I make kefir cheese a lot. I like kefir cheese in a lot of recipes too. So it works just as well with kefir cheese. I usually let it strain a little bit before I put the spring thing on, because it helps to let it firm up a little bit first, and then I put that on there after about the first 3 or 4 hours or 6 hours, and it doesn't really matter when you put it on. But and the longer you let it sit, the thicker it will get. I mean, you could make hard cheeses with it, but you would need to let it strain and drain for quite a while. And that's fun too, because people do that too, but it takes too much time. I'm always needing something right away. But if you want to go to my website, I'll put the link below. You can see pictures and you can see videos on how to do this, because I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for more protein in your diet. This is a powerful way to get it. We have a lot of yogurts. We have Greek, Skyr, Yogurt Plus. You can do it with kefir. All of them are going to be high in protein when you strain out the whey. And straining out the whey, and then I have a whole section on my site on what to do with kefir whey. A lot of people ask me if they can use yogurt whey to make the sodas. It doesn't have the right strains in it to make it bubbly. And although you can make drinks with the yogurt whey, like if you add stuff to it, like lemon and lime and sparkling mineral water, it doesn't really make bubbly sodas like kefir whey does because it's missing some of the beneficial yeast. So I don't recommend that. And it doesn't really ferment vegetables either because you need Lactobacillus plantarum to make the vegetables, and that's not occurring in those yogurts, only in kefir. So kefir whey works to do that, and kefir whey works to make kefir sodas, but not the yogurts. And that's why, because they're different bacteria strains and don't have the yeast in them that you need to make things ferment properly. So that's a couple things. So if you want to head on to the blog, I'll put the link in the article below, and you can take a look at how easy it is. It's not hard at all, and you'll enjoy making it, and it's fun. And it's so good for you. And I think yogurt cheese is the best. And it works really good in frozen yogurt. Yogurt cheese makes frozen yogurt creamy and delicious, and you will love it. I have some recipes for that. It's one of the things I make regularly because it brings the calorie count down, but it also brings the protein up, and it makes it super creamy. And that's one of the things I like about yogurt cheese and kefir cheese. They both do that. So anyway, well, I hope you take a look at that and enjoy some of making your yogurt cheese, and send me recipe links if you've got some things that you are making that you want to share with me, because I always love that when people share with me what they're making and enjoying with these foods. So have a great one, guys, and we'll talk to you next time. This is the first method on how to make high-protein yogurt cheese. And what you're going to do is get a nice strainer and a coffee filter, a jumbo coffee filter, if you want to make a bunch of high-protein yogurt. And I made a double batch of yogurt here, and you can use any kind of yogurt, Skyr, Greek. I think this is Greek. You can even do El Ruderi, Yogurt Plus. And you can scoop it out of the yogurt maker, or usually don't do that. I usually just pour it in because I made a bunch and I don't want to sit there all day and scoop it out. And you can see the whey is already starting to drain out to the bottom of the bowl. So I usually just cover it with plastic wrap, and then I go stick it in the refrigerator. And you can leave it in there overnight. You can leave it for 24 hours. You can leave it for 2 days. The more you do, the thicker it gets. This is after, I think, overnight. And you can see it's already has a lot of whey in the bottom. So I just take the little coffee filter out and put it on a bowl. And it kind of falls apart a little bit, so be careful. But you can see we got a nice lump of high-protein yogurt, or yogurt cheese, people like to call it. And so I just flipped it over, and I pour the whey, because there's stuff you can use the whey for, and I have that on my recipes. And I keep that in the fridge. And then you can use this in so many ways. This is actually fat-free milk that I used in Greek yogurt, and it makes a beautiful high-protein yogurt. This is how to make high-protein yogurt in a yogurt cheese strainer, and it works really, really well and is fun to make. And you can purchase these on my website at culturedfoodlife.com. I made this Skyr yogurt in an insulated mug, which we show you how to do on our recipe. And you just, after you make the yogurt, you're just going to pour it into the strainer. I usually let it firm up overnight in the fridge so it gets thicker. But you just dump most of it from our insulated mug into the cheese strainer. And then you can see the whey's already dripping out. And you put a lid on it. And then you just put it in the refrigerator for 12 to 24 hours or even longer, until it gets the consistency you want. And this is after overnight. And you can see that it's almost all the whey is dripped out. And you just want to scoop it out of the little mesh strainer in the center, and you can use a spoon. I like to use like a little plastic spatula, so I won't damage the mesh, but I'm using a spoon here, so you can do that too if you want. Just be careful. And this is pretty creamy, and this is very thick because a lot of the whey is gone. But I have another way to make it that makes it even thicker. But an easy way to get it out is just to turn it upside down, kind of go around the sides and just press on the bottom, shake it a little bit, and it'll kind of all plop out all at once. And there you have a nice thick yogurt cheese. But here's something else you can do to make it even thicker and get even more whey out. And when you put it in the yogurt into the strainer, what you're going to do is you're going to take the little spring that comes with it, and it has a little plastic bottom. You place a little spring into the plastic part of the cheese strainer. Then you're going to put the lid on. It's going to feel like there's pressure in it. But what that does is it pushes the yogurt down and makes a very firm yogurt. And the longer you do it, the thicker it gets. And you can do it for as long as you want. It does get more sour over time, but I've done it for a couple days. It works really good. And it makes a very nice yogurt. I think this is only 24 hours. So you're just I like to turn it upside down because it's all pretty much condensed in there. And then just push on the bottom gently and then kind of shake it. And out will come nice, thick, high-protein yogurt that is really, really good, guys. Tastes so good. I make it all the time now. And there you go. High-protein, that's skyr yogurt. And you can do it with Greek or Bulgarian. You can do Yogurt Plus or even El Rudera. They all work great.